The realm of non-fungible tokens has perhaps become the fastest growing sector of the whole cryptoverse. From its infancy stages to becoming a billion-dollar industry, NFTs have become an unstoppable force in the world of cryptocurrencies. And with immense growth comes ingenious innovations. Welcome to our channel where we show you all things crypto in the comfort of your very own crypto attic. Today, we'll show you one of NFT's current innovations that's taking the market by storm. They're called Generative Art NFTs. Before anything else, please remember that this is not financial advice but solely our fact-based opinion. We strongly urge you to do your own research before dealing, trading, or buying any cryptocurrencies. Knowledge is your greatest asset, so invest in it first. What's a Generative Art NFT? Just as the name implies, it is just a form of generative art stored as an NFT built on blockchain technology using smart contracts. The way it works is that artists don't have to create individual pieces of artwork for them to build NFT collections. They only need to come up with multiple features and traits for their NFT art collection and devise ways to increase the number of modifications for each of the said features or traits. The automated system then produces the underlying artwork by fusing the image data with the features and traits in accordance with instructions given by the designer. Because of the way they are designed, where artists, designers, and developers only set guides for the actual artwork rather than working on it piece by piece, there will always be an added element of surprise for each NFT artwork. That lack of control could be appealing to both creator and everyone else, as both wouldn't know the form which the final art would become. Because of the NFT industry's advancements, these generative art NFTs has gained traction in the cryptoverse and are set to spread its roots wider and even deeper into the cryptoverse. And since the utilization of NFTs and the blockchain technology, generative art NFTs have brought attention to real-world generative art itself. We're a few minutes in, and you might have heard of the word generative art way too many times already. Well, let us show you what it is, so you might have a grasp of how these NFT arts influence things and people outside the digital world. In the simplest of explanations, generative art is any art that was produced through the means of using software. It is a revolutionary way of using technology to produce unique digital art using patterns, colors, and other parameters that an artist presets and is generated at random. It is a synergy of man and machine where the designer is responsible for laying out the guide for the machine or program of choice to follow. Generating random iterations of the said guide was first practiced back in the 60s but wasn't given a chance to really shine because there were other types of art that came out at the time which were more controlled and themed, making them easier for people to digest. And since it would take another 50 years for the internet and blockchain technology to be developed to an extent where digital creativity became valuable, it isn't until these past couple years where generative art was given a chance to shine as NFTs in the cryptoverse. Generative art also has features that make it a unique experience and thing to own even in the world of NFTs. These are unpredictable outcomes, fluidity, ease, speed, and a ready market. Now, back to the actual generative art NFTs. By now, you might have an idea as to what smart contracts are or have done your own research about it already. Generative art NFTs are built using smart contracts, but for the artist to build an actual collection, the artist must first look for an AI software or online tool and a blockchain to build on. Each NFT must have a few traits which have multiple variations each in order for the NFTs to be unique from each other, thus creating rarity. The artist can then create additional NFT variants by adding smart scripts to your NFT design. But the most important part is setting a limit to the actual number of NFTs to be produced in this way to retain the artwork's value. During this process, the artist could incorporate codes for wallet IDs, transaction IDs, and/or gas prices into the NFTs, all depending on the artist's vision for the project. And since the whole generative art NFT market is fairly new to the world of NFTs, even trade veterans might wonder where to purchase such products. Well, look no further because your comfort is our mission. We've laid out a few places where you could buy and trade generative art NFTs. These are, of course, a few platforms dedicated to generative art NFTs that emerged since its introduction into the market. But the number one platform where artists and buyers go to conduct their trade today is none other than the Ethereum-based art blocks. Another platform to go to for these kind of NFTs is FXHash. It uses the Tezos blockchain and advertises as an open platform for creating and collecting generative art NFTs. Besides these two, there are other platforms as well to do your own trade on generative art NFTs. Platforms such as OpenSea, LooksRare, and Known Origin are all established platforms to safely conduct not just generative art NFTs but all kinds of NFT trades in general. If you also look at the trade history of generative NFTs on each platform, you'd see that the demand for them is quite high as of January of 2023. Yet it is too early to determine how they will do in the long run, despite the fact that there is a significant possibility that this need will continue. As seen by the vast majority of leading generative art collections, it is undeniable that the appeal of the artist and the historical significance of the works have a significant role in determining their worth. If you're a bit on edge when thinking about engaging in this market, we prepared the best generative NFT projects for you to get to know the trade a bit more, and use them as a reference for when you're ready to dive into the world of generative art. Autoglyphs. The company behind the pioneer NFT art collection CryptoPunk, Larva Labs, is also responsible for the very first generative NFT project in 2019 called Autoglyphs. Everyone who paid at least $35 was able to build their own autoglyph courtesy of Larva Labs. Autoglyphs operate on the Ethereum blockchain and are defined by their makers as an experiment in generative art, each one unique and created by code. $41 million in sales are estimated to have been generated by the project as a whole. One of the most costly autoglyph NFTs, however, costs more than $940,000. Lost Poets. Here's one that got the traction it needed because of its creator's prominence in the world of NFTs. The designer of the generative art NFT and strategy game Lost Poets is Pac, one of the most renowned and successful NFT artists in the industry. The Lost Poets initiative is thought to be Pac's most complex NFT undertaking. It is a strategic and collectible game with multiple levels. Starting in September of 2021, Lost Poets was made available to the public in stages. The first stage, dubbed Pages, consisted of more than 65,000 single, multiple edition NFTs and sold $70 million in all. Similar NFTs constituted subsequent stages. Every single NFT from the collection were generated by artificial intelligence under the guidance of Pac. Art blocks. As mentioned earlier, generative art is mainly gathered and created using a platform called Art Blocks. Having made more than $900 million in sales since its inception back in 2020, Eric Calderon's venture is considered to be the most successful generative art NFT project. Calderon's initial artwork on Art Blocks was titled Chromie Squiggles. Other than Chromie Squiggles, Fidenza number 313 and Fidenza number 77 are two of the most famous art NFTs available on Art Blocks. Solvency. Ezra Miller's Solvency project is a limited edition series that features WebGL models. The WebGL artwork is constructed using multi-layered palettes that depend on data from the minting transaction, 500 iterations of the artwork, and textural feedback mechanisms that are derived from a GAN built on 35mm pictures. The hash of the Solvency project's tokens, some of which are more scarce than others, have an impact on the final piece of art. We finally arrive at the last part of our video, which is determining if buying or collecting generative art NFTs are worth it. The short answer to that question is yes. It will still depend though on your preference. Again, we can't stress it enough to say that you need to do your own research before venturing into any investments. Just remember though that generative NFTs are a fairly new market, and a growing one at that. And as evidence of its growth, the market for generative NFTs alone brought about $2.5 billion in 2021. But there is still some level of uncertainty as to how the market would continue to act and accommodate generative NFTs, so keep that in mind when trading as well. Our conclusion is that the market and ecosystem for digital arts are at its infancy stages. And even if there is some level of threat coming from the current crypto winter, art in itself holds value no matter the market status. If you're the type to consider art to be priceless and just appreciate the beauty and creativity of artists from all over the globe, then generative art NFTs are one of the most unique and beautiful artworks available online. Anything else is for your discretion. That's all for today. Don't forget to like our videos and follow our channel Crypto Addict. If you don't want to miss out on any of our next videos, then hit on that notification button as well.